your top five. Who you got for your top 100 in March?
Yeah, actually, top five is actually changed from my top 64. Really, I had three defensemen, but right now it's Matthew Beniers from the University of Michigan at one, Fabian Lizelle from Lulea at number two, William Eklund from Djurgårdens at three, Owen Power from Michigan at four, and Luke Hughes from the USA U18 National Team Development Program at number five.
Alrighty. Do you think with Michigan unfortunately having the bow out of the NCAA tournament, do you think that's going to affect a Matty Beniers or Power, any of those top guys? Or do you think it's just, they're kind of locked in where they're locked in? Guys know who they are at this point.
It's always a concern, especially when they had high hopes of being one of the top teams, especially with the roster that they had. And I didn't mention Ken Johnson, but I will get to him momentarily at one point during this video. Those two, Beniers and Power, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're probably locked in at top fives at least. It could be up and down. Beniers could be one, he could fall down as well. A lot of the rankings out there, it's going to be very sporadic and very different. But with the way that he plays on both sides of the puck, it's just really phenomenal, his smarts. And I think that's what separates him from, some of the other prospects, especially the other forwards that I have at 2 and 3, where he can be reliable at both ends very well.
Okay, Matthew, what do you think of those top five? Is that I don't want you to give away too much of your rankings that are going to be coming out here in a couple of weeks, but how do you rank his top five?
I mean, that top five is pretty solid. You got like Owen Power. I would maybe drop him out of the top five at this point. There's a few other players that are kind of can go into that, but I mean, those five, Lysell and Eklund, what they're doing in Sweden is ridiculous, and they're going to be top five talents in the NHL eventually. And Beniers, what can you say about him? Even though the University of Michigan did bow out early, what he did this season in the NCAA and in the World Juniors is, I think it speaks for itself. I think he's pretty locked in that top five. I don't really have any. I'm not going to roast any of those picks. I mean, that's ridiculous. So that five is pretty solid.
All right, Andrew, what's your take on those top five? Pretty close to what you're going to be coming out with here in a couple of weeks for your next rankings.
Yeah, I think it'll be in the same range. Like Matt, I think Owen Power might just drop right outside that top five. He'll still be a top 10 in my books, but yeah, I think for the most part, you see a lot of the scouts right now have seen what they want to see. So Matty Beniers, I think you're talking about a top 3 guy no matter what. In Lysell and Eklund, I mean, they're getting a lot of love for potentially being a first overall pick as well. So there's a little bit of an interchange there in the top 3, but yeah, I mean, a solid top 5 for Peter for sure.